mama, dad, whoever is up right now with that little one, the morning is not just the start of your day. For your child's developing brain, the morning is the most powerful window of the entire 24 hours. What happens in those first hours after your child wakes up? The sounds they hear, the interactions they have, the environment they move through, sets the neurological tone for everything that follows. Focus, mood, language, learning, emotional regulation, all of it is primed by what the morning looks like. And most parents with the best intentions in the world are rushing through the most important part of the day without realizing what they're walking past. Today, we're changing that. Before we begin, tap like to help this reach more parents. Subscribe for more baby development insights, and comment yes if you're here to better understand your child and be their strongest advocate. Here are 5 morning habits that make your child's brain stronger, starting tomorrow. Habit 1. The first words your child hears matter more than you think before the breakfast, before the getting dressed, before the rush and the logistics and the things that need to happen before you can get out the door. There is a moment. The moment your child wakes up and sees your face. And what you say in that moment and how you say it is doing something inside their brain that most parents have never been told about. When a child wakes from sleep, their brain is transitioning out of a deeply restorative state. The stress hormone cortisol naturally rises in the morning to help with alertness. This is normal and healthy. But the emotional tone of the first interaction a child has upon waking directly influences how that cortisol response settles. A warm, calm, connected greeting signals safety to the nervous system. The brain relaxes into readiness. A rushed, stressed, or distracted first interaction does the opposite. It keeps the stress response elevated. And an elevated stress response in a young child is a brain that is focused on protection, not learning. This is not about being cheerful when you don't feel cheerful. It is about being present for 60 seconds. Get down to their level, make eye contact, use their name, say something warm and specific. Good morning, I'm so happy to see you. How did you sleep? Let the first thing they experience each day be the feeling that they are safe, seen, and loved. That 60-second investment reshapes the neurochemistry of their entire morning. And done consistently over months and years, it builds something even more durable. A child whose baseline relationship with the world is one of security rather than anxiety. And a secure brain is a brain that is free to learn. Habit 2. Natural light within the first 30 minutes. This one is almost shockingly simple and almost universally skipped. Within the first 30 minutes of your child waking up, get them into natural light. Open the curtains fully, step outside for a few minutes, sit by a window, let the morning light reach their eyes. Here is why this matters neurologically. The human brain contains a small but extraordinarily powerful region called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, the body's master clock. In young children, whose circadian rhythms are still developing and calibrating, morning light exposure is one of the primary inputs that sets and stabilizes that internal clock. When the brain receives natural light early in the morning, it triggers a cascade of neurochemical events. Cortisol levels optimize for alertness. Serotonin production increases, serotonin being the neurotransmitter most directly linked to mood stability, focus, and emotional regulation. And the timing of melatonin release in the evening is set correctly, which means better, deeper, more restorative sleep that night. Better sleep means a better brain the next morning. And the morning after that. It is a cycle, and morning light is the reset button. Studies on children's cognitive performance consistently show that those with stable, well-regulated circadian rhythms demonstrate stronger attention, better working memory, and more consistent emotional regulation than children whose internal clocks are poorly calibrated. You don't need to do anything elaborate. Just open the curtains the moment they wake up. Step outside while they drink their morning milk. Eat breakfast near a window. Let the sun do what it was designed to do. Habit 3. Movement before sitting still. If your morning involves asking your child to sit still, focus, eat quietly, or participate in anything that requires sustained attention, and whose morning doesn't, then this habit is for you. The research on this is unambiguous. Physical movement in the morning before any demand for focused cognitive activity dramatically improves a child's capacity for exactly that focused cognitive activity. When a child moves or crawls, rolls, jumps, reaches, climbs, dances, runs, their brain releases a protein called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which researchers have literally called miracle grow for the brain. BDNF promotes the growth of new neural connections, enhances the transmission of signals between brain cells, and primes the prefrontal cortex, the region responsible for attention, impulse control, and decision-making, for peak performance. A child who has moved their body in the morning arrives at breakfast, at play, at any learning activity, with a brain that is fundamentally more ready to engage than a child who went directly from bed to a seated activity. This does not require a structured exercise routine. It requires 5 to 10 minutes of free, joyful, unrestricted movement. Roll around on the floor together, put on a song and dance. Let them climb on you. Go outside and let them run in any direction they choose. The more unstructured and joyful the movement, the better. Because joy during movement produces dopamine alongside BDNF, and dopamine is the brain's primary learning and motivation chemical. You are not just warming up their body. You are chemically preparing their brain to absorb and retain everything the day brings. Habit 4. Breakfast as a conversation, not a task. Most families treat breakfast as something to get through. Food goes in, box checked, move on to the next thing. But breakfast, specifically the conversation that happens during breakfast, is one of the most underused brain-building opportunities of the entire day. Here is what the research tells us. Young children who experience regular, engaged conversation during mealtimes develop measurably larger vocabularies, stronger narrative comprehension, and more sophisticated language structures than children who eat in silence or in front of screens. The meal itself is not the mechanism, the talk is. But there is a specific kind of breakfast conversation that produces the strongest results. Not quizzing, not instructing, not running through the plan for the day, wondering out loud together, what do you think that bird outside is doing? I wonder why the sky looks different today. What do you think would happen if we mixed these two foods together? This kind of open, curious, speculative conversation activates a child's brain in a way that direct instruction does not. It models intellectual curiosity. It signals that questions are welcome, that not knowing is interesting rather than threatening, that thinking out loud together is one of the best things two people can do. It also develops something called narrative thinking, the ability to construct and follow a sequence of ideas, which is one of the strongest early predictors of reading comprehension and academic success. Turn breakfast into a conversation. Ask questions you don't know the answer to. Think out loud, wonder together. You are not just feeding their body, you are feeding the part of their brain that will drive them to keep learning for the rest of their life. Habit 5. 1 moment of complete, undivided attention. This is the shortest habit on the list, and it might be the most powerful. Before the morning fully unfolds, before the phone takes over, before the logistics multiply, before you become the coordinator of everything that needs to happen, give your child 1 uninterrupted minute of complete, undivided attention. No phone in your hand, no eye on the clock, no half listening while you think about something else. Just you, fully present, following their lead entirely. Whatever they want to show you, talk about, play, or share, you are 100% there. 1 minute sounds small, but to a young child's brain and nervous system, undivided parental attention is one of the most potent experiences that exists. It activates the attachment system, which directly regulates the stress response. It signals at a neurological level, you are my safe place and you are here, which allows the child's nervous system to settle into the calm, regulated state that is optimal for learning and exploration. Children who receive consistent moments of genuine, undivided attention, even brief ones, show stronger attachment security, lower baseline cortisol levels, greater willingness to explore and take cognitive risks, and more resilient responses to stress and frustration. 1 minute, phone down, eyes on them, heart fully in the room. Do that every morning and watch what it does to the rest of the day, for both of you. Before we close, tap like to help this reach more parents. Subscribe for more baby development insights, and comment yes if you're committed to showing up for your child in the ways that actually matter most. 5 habits. And not one of them requires buying anything, signing up for anything, or adding an hour to your already full morning. A warm, present greeting. Natural light in the first 30 minutes. Movement before stillness. Conversation at breakfast. 1 minute of complete attention. That's it. That's the entire protocol and the brain your child is building right now. The architecture of attention, language, emotional regulation, curiosity, and confidence that will carry them through their entire life is being shaped by exactly these kinds of moments. Not the big ones, not the expensive ones, the quiet, repeatable, easy to overlook ones that happen before most of the world is even awake. You already have everything you need. You have your presence, your voice, your face, and your willingness to show up with intention for a few minutes every morning. That is enough. That has always been enough. Your child's brain is waiting, and tomorrow morning is the perfect place to start. If this gave you something real, one habit you're going to try tomorrow morning, please like this video, share it with a parent who needs to hear it, and drop your yes in the comments below. We are all in this together. See you in the next one.